Now, President Obama's a loose cannon. He knows he's a mistake. And he knows that a majority of the country know that they made a mistake in electing him. He knows that if the American people could vote up or down on him today, they'd throw him out of office. He knows it. His ego may not allow him to think of it much, but he knows it. And Axelrod knows it. And David Plouffe knows it. And Robert Gibbs knows it. They don't care because nothing can happen. But they know. What they're doing is, we did it. We fooled them. And they know that they've got 3 years to screw this place up in their image. They have 3 years now. They also know that if they threw out his party, if the election were today, Obama would be gone and so would the Democrats. That is why he and his flunkies have become so defiant. And that is why they are trying to get their agenda installed before the public can deal with this mistake. And it is in this atmosphere that I firmly believe, as I predicted mere moments ago on this very program from behind this, the golden EIB microphone. What, I break a meter in there when I did that? Engineers hate it when you do that because it pegs the meter and they just don't like it. Even though it doesn't hurt anything, they just don't like seeing the meter being pegged. At any rate, it is in this defiance, it is in this attitude, and I know people like that. You can't touch me. We're dealing with Bart Simpson here, who has just burned down the house, who's saying, you can't prove it, nobody saw me do it, you can't touch a thing. Except, we've all seen him do it, but there's nothing we can do about it. So he's laughing at us. He's laughing at us behind closed doors. He and Michelle Maibel, they're laughing at us. But they are defiant now. And they know they've got 3 years to get this done. That's why healthcare today, and March 18th. If it's not March 18th, it's going to be March 19th. If it's not March 19th, it's going to be May 19th. They're not going to stop. They know that their game is over. They know that the vast majority of people now realize that they were fooled and elected somebody who's totally unlike the man they thought they were electing in every way possible. And it is in this defiance that he becomes this loose cannon and will screw up and will himself reveal what his true motivations have been from the day he first started planning running for the presidency, which was many, many years prior to when you think it was, for the express purpose of, within the democratic process, overthrowing this country. You really mean to say that? Right? Yeah, well, of course I do. I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. What the hell do you think's happening out there? Our way of life is being overthrown. The very foundations, the institutions, the principles founded and led this country to be the greatest nation ever are under daily assault by this administration on purpose. If you were alive during the 60s and you remember that raucous bunch running around blowing up bank buildings and shouting out whatever invective against the establishment, they're running the country now. They now have the power to legally blow up whatever they want to blow without explosives. So we have a circumstance where everybody knows what's going on here. The vast majority of people know they made a mistake in electing Obama. Obama knows that they know. People regret it. They want to reverse course. But he's laughing. You can't touch me for 3 years. And I don't care if my party loses in November. I'm just as happy to blame my failures on the Republicans as I am on the Democrats. You can't touch me. In the meantime, I can stop you from going fishing wherever you want. I can buy your car companies. I can put competitive car companies out of business. I can determine what kind of food you're going to eat. I can determine what kind of health care you're going to get. I can determine what everything's going to cost you. I can determine whether you have a chance to get rich or not. I can tax you into poverty. I can do whatever I want to do. And I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm going to make sure that this country pays the price for all of its transgressions since its founding. I'm going to make sure this country is knocked down to size. I'm going to make sure this country and the people that find out just how much pain and suffering they have caused around the world. And it's time they pay the price for it. And that's what's happening here. So they become defiant and know their time is limited. I knew this was the case, folks. I knew this was the case when Obama said he'd just as soon be a great one-term president as a mediocre two-termer. If you are a one-term president seeking to be a second-term president, but you don't make it, it means you're voted out of office. Why? It means people do not think Jimmy Carter. People didn't want 4 more years of a misery index. They didn't want 4 more years of incompetence. Obama, if he can get what he wants done, he'll be happy to be thrown out of office after having a very successful 4 years in transforming the country into an image that he and his radical buddies have longed to make it for longer than I've been alive. And many of you as well. And as each day goes on, more and more people are going to see this. It's right in front of everybody's eyes. You have 2,200 people in St. Louis today opposing Obama's health care plan after 4,000 speeches versus 400 people who show up, invited guests only. I've heard, I can't confirm this. Somebody have to find this. I've heard that I'm not even going to mention a name here so I can confirm this, that a famous mainstream media reporter was told by Obama's press people on Monday in Glenside, Pennsylvania, you are not allowed to interview the people who attended the rally. Don't know if that's true. I would not doubt it. We're going to try to find out if it is true. It makes perfect sense. It's a stacked deck. It wasn't members of the public. It was bought and paid for. Union people, Organizing for America, crowd generated, or what have you. And it's that way in St. Louis today, in St. Charles. The public is not invited.